Okay, for this lesson, I'll show you how to solve more equations. Let's start with this example here. Negative 1/2 a is equal to 10. Right? So now we have a negative 1/2 in front of that a. We have to get rid of it, right? So I'm gonna get rid of that by multiplying by the reciprocal of negative 1/2. Okay? So think of it like this. Flip the 1/2, so you'll get 2/1. Let's make parentheses here. And I also want that to be negative, right? Because I don't want this to be a negative a, I want this to be a positive a, right? So from last time, it's similar to what we did, right? Let's multiply this by negative 2/1. I have to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to multiply this by negative 2/1. Right? So now, if we look at the left-hand side of the equation, we have negative 2/1 times negative 1/2. And the 2 and 2 they cancel, the 1 and 1 they cancel, and you have a negative times a negative, so that becomes a positive, right? So this becomes a positive here. So now you're just left with the a. Okay, we're left with the a. Now, on the right hand side, if it's easier, you can put a 1 underneath the 10 to make it into a fraction also. And we're just multiplying fractions, so we're just going to multiply across, right? So 10 times the negative 2 is negative 20. And 1 times 1 is just 1. So that simplifies to just negative 20. Right? So a is equal to negative 20. And we're done here. Right? Finish this equation. Okay, let's take a look at another one. Let's say I have negative 1/5 b equals 0. Right? Same thing we did last time. I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of negative 1/5. Right? So that will be negative 5/1. Again, it's easier just to make the parentheses so you can see it better. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Multiply by negative 5/1. Right? So now, when we look at the left-hand side, the 5 will cross out with the 5. This one will cross out with this one. They're both negative, so it becomes just the positive. Positive what? Well, it's going to be the b here. So this will become the b. Right? But on the right hand side, you have this whole negative 5/1 in parentheses, but it's being multiplied by the 0. Right? So this whole thing is just 0. Right? So b is just 0. Right? And we're happy because we're done. Let's take a look at this example here. Let's say we have 0. So we have 0 times c, and it's equal to 25. Right? So logically, we're thinking of, if we look at the left-hand side, right? A number times 0 to make it equal to 25, right? That doesn't make any sense, right? Because anything times 0 will always be 0, right? So this is not possible, right? This is not possible. Right? The value of c, there's no value for c to make this equation possible, right? Another way to look at it is, well, let's say we divide both sides by 0. Let's see what happens, right? So we do that, 0 times c, we just write it over again. Now we're going to divide both sides by 0, right? Look at what's happening on the right hand side here, right? We have this fraction, right? 25/0, right? Think about it. It's a division. Right? So we have to think, okay, what number times 0 will give us the 25? Again, this is not possible, right? It's not possible. Okay, so C is undefined. and we just write it like that. C is undefined. Okay, and we're done. Alright, let's say we have this equation here. 4w is equal to negative 1 over 5. Okay, so on the left hand side I want to get rid of that 4, right? So I'm going to divide both sides by 4. So let's do that. I'm going to divide this by 4, and I'm going to divide this thing by 4 on the right hand side. Okay, so on the left hand side, this 4 and this 4, boom, they're gone, right? Now we're just left with the w. Okay, so over here on the right hand side we have negative 1/5 divided by 4, right? If it's easier, I'll put a 1 underneath that, right? So now we're just dividing two fractions, right? If you remember, when you divide fractions, think of Kentucky Fried Chicken, right? KFC. So we'll keep the negative 1/5, okay? We'll flip the 4 over 1, so now it's 1 over 4. And we're going to change this into a multiplication. So here goes the dot, boom, right? Now we have negative 1 times 1, so that's just negative 1, and 5 times 4, which is just 20, right? So that's what w is equal to, negative 1 over 20. Okay, and we're pretty happy with our answer because we got w by itself, right? It's on the left hand side, and it's equal to negative 1 over 20, right? So we're done with this one. Let's say I have something else. Let's say I have this equation. 12y plus 8y is equal to 10. Okay, so on the left hand side, I want to add these two terms here, right? The 12y and the 8y. So if we do that, we're going to get 20y, right? Not too bad, not too scary. Now looking on the right hand side, there's nothing to be done there, right? So now we're left with this one step here to get rid of that 20. So in order to do that, I'm going to divide both sides by 20. Okay, boom, done. Same thing over here. Also done, right? So now this 20 and this 20, they cancel, right? So we're left with that y. And what is that equal to? It's 10 over 20. Right? Which reduces to 1/2. Okay? So let me write the final answer over here. Right? Y is equal to 1/2. And that looks good, right? That looks really good. So we're done.